Hey everyone, it's Halloween. I hope everyone's safe and happy. I said in my previous Hangout video that I was going to do something for Halloween, but either I've been working or when I'm not working, I haven't had the energy to try to comb through my collection and try to piece something together. And there's just so much Halloween content out there now that what would I even do? I thought about going through my collection and picking out, like, say, my 10 recommendations, like maybe like underrepresented or ones that people don't talk about a lot. But I started to go through my collection. And I just thought, I can't even pull this together. It's just lame. Sorry, but not sorry at the same time. I'm just, yeah, and I've got a lot of work to do coming up, a lot of shifts at work, so I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of focusing on resting and being well. But it is Halloween, and although my channel's not just strictly horror content, I used to be a lot more focused on horror, but over the last year I've definitely kind of moved away from that a bit, and I'm just sort of talking about movies, and I'm actually talking a bit more about music now. And my channel has changed quite a bit, obviously, if you follow me. But yeah, it's Halloween. I love, I don't know. I don't even know if I love Halloween. During the pandemic, I got very nostalgic, and I was doing a lot of catch up, like watching a lot of old horror movies that I had never seen, or revisiting some. This was just poking into my back as I was sitting here. Revisiting some cult classics and things like that. But definitely in the last year, I've sort of moved a bit away from that. And suffice to say, I've really enjoyed going back and watching a lot of stuff that I missed. Like, I watched the whole Critters franchise, which I had never watched any of those. Cemetery Man. I bought and revisited Wicker Man, the original. Like, I went through the motion, Dog Soldiers. Like, when we had all that free time, I went back and I grabbed a bunch of old stuff that I remember enjoying and revisited it. Some of it held up, some of it did not. But there's so much content now, and it's so, I don't want to get negative, but it's such a machine now, like with the horror conventions and the movies that come out every day, every week. The deluxe editions of Blu-rays and 4Ks and collector's boxes, and it is a machine. And I could see how somebody could easily get caught up in those cogs of those machines, and I'm not one of them. Anybody who's followed my channel knows I mostly just buy used stuff. Occasionally I'll buy like a new Blu-ray or a new DVD, but generally I'm on the hunt it's the thrill of the hunt for me, trying to find the weird old stuff, the weird horror, the weird cult movies. And, growing up, I was always more of a mainstream kid anyway, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Close Encounters, Aliens. I was always more Predator. I was more into that stuff and less the Reanimator or just the lower budget horror, like no budget horror. Just not my thing. And anybody who watches my channel regularly knows that that's how I feel. But and that's just me. I mean, everybody has their own thing. Lots of people like a lot of that stuff, and kudos to them, and that's awesome. So yeah, so I just didn't really pull together anything special for Halloween. The other thing is the weather here. It's like 17 degrees out today. Tomorrow's November 1st. So I just don't have that cozy cold weather sweaters vibe going on. It's like, to me, it's barely even fall, even though the Christmas commercials are already started. So I don't even really have that kind of Halloween feeling. That said, though, this past summer I did pick up the actual movie Halloween on 4K. I got this used for $10 at a store called Treasure Hunters, which I really like. And I have been saving this for Halloween night. So tonight, Halloween night, I will be watching this on 4K. Hopefully the picture quality and the sound and everything is, a marked improvement. I like this movie. I have it on VHS. I have it on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. I have it on 4K now. No, I don't have the... Wait, do I have the Blu-ray? No, I don't have the Blu-ray. And actually, now that I think about it, I sold my DVD. So, oh, wait, no, one of these is Blu-ray, I guess. It's a Blu-ray 4K combo. So, which is good. A lot of people I watch talk about future-proofing their collections because 4K, although popular, it is very niche. So, in 10, 20 years, are we going to have 4K players? I don't know. Are we going to have Blu-ray players? Probably. I mean, they're still making DVD players, so. Anyway, I noticed this morning this has a cool Halloween 40th anniversary hype sticker on it, which is cool, but yeah, I picked this one up used, like I said, for $10. I thought that was a pretty good bargain, and I'm excited to watch this tonight for Halloween. I'm wearing my Friday the 13th shirt today to work, but I'm not... I'm not like a horror nerd, I guess. I definitely love a lot of horror movies, I should say. Yeah, so I don't really, sorry, this is kind of lame. It's kind of lame. But I literally have to go to work in like 20 minutes. So I thought, I got to put something out because I know in my previous Hangout video, I said if I could find the time and the energy, I would do something for Halloween. Obviously, I didn't, but I'm doing a little pop in just to say that I hope everyone's happy and safe and hopefully you will have a nice Halloween, whatever you decide to do. Here where I live in Nova Scotia, we are supposed to be having a very bad rain and windstorm, so I feel bad for the little kiddies going out to trick-or-treat, but hopefully they will stay safe. And if you live in my area or my province, or anywhere really for that matter, and you're having inclement weather, be sure if you go out in your car tonight to be mindful of the kids out on the sidewalks and the streets and stuff like that, because it's definitely hard to see on a nice night if it's raining and windy and just generally unpleasant. Then it could be harder to see kids. And what else? Oh, last weekend at my retail job, we participated in a thing for the town I live in where they different stores in the town give out treats on the Sunday before Halloween to like little kids. So I really enjoyed that. It was hectic because I was also trying to wait on customers while trying to talk to the kiddos. But I saw lots of wonderful costumes. There was a little girl dressed up or a little child dressed up as Coraline from the Coraline movie, and that was a really great costume. So I was, as I've learned at being a volunteer coordinator, you never want to say you're my favorite, but yeah, it was a pretty cool costume. There was two older kids that came in with their parent, and they were wearing Jason Voorhees masks, a la hockey mask. And I asked them what their favorite Friday the 13th movie was, and they informed me that they had never seen a Friday the 13th movie. And their dad proceeded to tell me that his favorite movie was Freddy versus Jason. So I was like, yeah, But on the flip side, the dad or the parent made the Voorhees masks. So I was really, really impressed by that. So that was kind of fun. I just put on some spooky music on the laptop at work, and kids came in, and I let them take treats and stuff like that. I didn't police the treats. I just put them in a bucket on a chair, and I said, guys, help yourself. Some kids took more. Some really sweet kids took one, and they were like, is it okay if I have this one? I'm like, take a few, And then by the end of it, I think it went from 12 to 3. By about 10 to 3, if a kid came in, I was like, take a handful, kid. So yeah, that was kind of fun. That actually kind of gave me more of the Halloween feels. This week, I really haven't been watching much, I don't think, on spooky movies or things like that. I'm actually kind of gearing up to this time of year. I usually like to go to Middle Earth, and I like to revisit the Lord of the Rings movies, the Hobbit movies. This past week, I've been watching a lot of interviews with Peter Jackson from around that time and behind the scenes stuff. And I have my big Lord of the Rings box set, which, you know, generally every year that's sort of my holiday tradition, is to watch the Middle Earth 6 movies or whatever, sixtology, six. Uh, but this year I thought, you know what, I'm getting a little head start on it, so I thought maybe during the month of November I'll do a lot of watching the behind the scenes and the making of, and I'm working on a little science fiction story of my own, so which I've been talking for like probably 6, 7, 8 years about turning that into like a graphic novel. So I'm hoping that I can start to kind of chip away at that a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna probably do a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff coming up, just because it is very those movies are really special to me. And I read most of The Hobbit last year. I got a few more chapters to go. I'm a very lazy reader, so I would like to finish that. But yeah, let me know what you're watching for Halloween season. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just, it's just Halloween or whatever. I figured I'd savor the original 1978 John Carpenter Halloween for my Halloween night. So it is supposed to be rainy and windy. So as long as the power doesn't go out, that should be a frightfully good time. I'll get cozy, make some tea, and just enjoy that, which I usually watch that movie around Halloween anyway. Mostly for the last 5 years I have anyway. So yeah, excited about that. Otherwise, I'll try to do a Hangout video early this coming week. Like I said, I am working a lot of shifts, so I don't have a lot of time. It's kind of a bummer, but I also wanted to give a shout out to everybody who has recently subscribed. I know I gained a few subscribers this past week, so shout out to you, or as Danzig does, devil horns down. So shout out to you. Thanks for joining my evil YouTube channel here on Halloween. Woo! Ow, ow, ow! But yeah, find something spooky to watch. There's so much stuff to watch. Like, I mean, I know for the youngsters, they're probably watching that It prequel thing. I know the Stranger Things is coming out with a 5th season, which probably people are ramping up for that. I'm trying to think of things I recently watched, because I thought I did, didn't I? Haunt, I just recently watched. That's great. It's streaming on Shudder in Canada, I believe. But there's always the classics. Weapons, which is a newer one that came out, I thought was pretty good. That's getting a lot of hype this year, so you go check that out. In the theater, I gather Black Phone 2 is getting a lot of hype. I didn't particularly like the first one, so I'm probably just going to skip that myself, but go check it out. I was watching this morning a channel I watch called Hack the Movies. They were doing their October wrap-up, and they were talking about apparently John Carpenter dissed the movie The Substance, so I was watching some clips this morning of John Carpenter being John Carpenter, which was hilarious. But I did really like The Substance from last year, so if you haven't seen that, pretty horrifying stuff, body horror. What else? But there's all kinds of great ones for this time of year. The last few years, I've really enjoyed Dark Night of the Scarecrow, which is a 70s made-for-TV movie, which I always hype up. Children of the Corn is a great one for around this time of year. I actually really like, I know this will probably be a controversial pick, but Halloween Part 4 I actually really like around this time of year. That gives me the vibes, which is funny because anybody who knows anything about this movie knows that it wasn't actually shot in the fall, and they had to like paint leaves orange and stuff and like drop them. But if you look in the background, all the trees are green, so that's funny. Kind of like Meet the Parents. They had to do that to give it that fall edge. They had to paint a bunch of leaves and trees and stuff. But yeah, there's so many. But let me know in the comments below what your favorite Halloween movies are, or things that you revisit every year, or things like that. If you're going out trick-or-treating or going to a party and having some libations, please be careful, especially, like I said, if it's windy and rainy and dark. But enjoy yourself. If you're more into like the pagan and the witchcraft and stuff like that, this is of course obviously also a magical time of year, or a very spiritual time of year. The barrier between the living and the dead is extremely thin, so maybe you want to do a little ritual at home with some candles, and again, be careful with that stuff too, because you can easily get carried away with that. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I just wanted to pop in and say happy Halloween to everyone. Thank you so much to everybody who has continued to support my channel. Goodbye to all the people who unsubscribed. And thank you to for all the people who gave me the thumbs up. I'm no longer on social media. I'm no longer watching trending things on Google. I'm trying to limit my digital addiction this year, which has been very, very good. So if you're thinking about doing that, I'd like you to stay on YouTube, obviously, but the other stuff, you don't need it. Trust me, you don't. I remember when I quit Facebook and Instagram that first day, I felt so scared, like, oh my God, what have I done? But as the months, I was thinking about it this morning, which is the reason I bring it up, but as the months have gone on, I'm like, I don't miss that in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't bother me. This just also was poking into my back and fell off the shelf just quietly behind me. My Dead Can Dance VHS. This is the Toward the Within, which is funny because I've been listening to a lot of Dead Can Dance lately. So, but yeah, you know what? Maybe go to the thrift store today, or the charity shop, or your local charity shop, and dig around, see if you can find something cool. I found this for $5 a couple of years ago. The old Parents flick. Maybe make that a little thrifting Halloween horror kind of thing. Grab a horror movie you've never seen or something, pop it on. I don't know. Be creative. Sing a spooky song. Watch some spooky movies. Spooky music videos. I don't know why, but that Ryan Gosling one just came to mind, where he's playing the piano with the little kids singing behind him. Make a playlist of horror songs that you like. Season of the Witch, The Witch by the Sonics, Go Into the Graveyard by the Fuzz Tones. Get some Cramps going on in there. There's lots of fun things. Draw a picture of a witch or a pumpkin and color it in with some markers. Be creative, have fun, but most of all, stay safe and stay spooky. And until next time, you know the drill, kiddos. I'll see you at the video store or the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. Hopefully, we won't be out on the dark Halloween streets with the jack-o'-lanterns lit, being scared by a true menace. But until next time, take good care of yourselves and your friends and your family and your community, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.